Hey everybody, Sam Kavaris in the Nimnik Sports Update. The NFLPA and the NFL have been negotiating for what seems like years, and it has actually been for about 2 years. But in the last few months, they obviously have been sitting at a table, the executive committees across from each other. And last week, they finally came down to a compromise. And as Jerry Richardson, one of the guys on the NFL Owners Executive Committee, said, we had a handshake deal with the players. Now, they took it to the owners, who were meeting in Atlanta. And what did they do? They voted on it, and they approved it after about 9 hours of meeting. Then it got turned over to the players, who got all up in arms that the owners were the power play, and they were trying to shove this down our throats, and they set this deadline. Well, now it turns out that it's because the NFLPA, as well as they had operated the entire time during this negotiation, just hadn't done their job in making sure the player reps knew what was going on, and in turn turning it over to the rank and file. It is a process. There's no question about that. You can control 32 guys in a room, NFL owners, easier than you can 1,900 guys when you're talking about the rank and file of the National Football League Players Association. So they've got to go through this process. The 32 player reps have to approve the deal. Don't be surprised if that doesn't happen this weekend and that they come up with a deal. Then the guys who were in that suit against the NFL, the guys like Brady and Manning and those guys, they have got to inform the court formally that they're not involved whatsoever, and they think that it's okay. Finally, they have to get the approval of the rank and file, 50% plus one, and it's a deal. Then the facilities will be open. Then they'll recertify the union. Then we may have some football. Here's the key time frame. That both sides have agreed that they have to have 15 days of practice before the first preseason game. If you look at the Jaguars game scheduled at New England, which is on August the 11th, well, that takes it back to this coming Wednesday, which is July the 27th. Most teams have to be in camp July 28th or 29th, or they're going to have to get rid of the first game of the preseason. Don't be surprised if this thing doesn't get done Monday or Tuesday formally, and that the Jaguars, and you'll be able to go see camp coming up probably next Thursday. Hey, congratulations to the winner of the Greater Jacksonville Kingfish Tournament. The winning fish is rarely caught on the second day, but it certainly was, and it was more than 50 pounds, only 2 pounds shy of the all-time record, and the third largest fish ever brought in. And where was it? Right off the beach in Fernandina. You didn't have to go boring holes in the ocean, and you didn't have to go spending $5,000 in gas down at Canaveral to catch the winning fish. 53 pounds, and when they bring a 53-pounder in, it looks like a whale anyway, so congratulations. I don't know if, we haven't talked about the Tour de France at all, but if you have watched any of the tour, it's been like no other tour I've ever seen, and anybody's ever seen. Guys getting hit by cars, and guys flying off the road, and it's just been incredibly, I think, exciting to watch. And if you'll just indulge me for just a second, I got invited to go climb Mount Ventou back in June, and I went with a buddy of mine who lives in Paris, and we climbed it. It's the hardest physical thing I've ever done in my life. It took me 3 hours and 20 minutes to do it, but it was really, really difficult. So I'm watching these guys out there climb Alpe d'Huez and the Galibier and all this other stuff, and they look like they got motors going up the hill. It's just amazing. But I can tell you that while he was in France last week, Lance was there, and he went on a recreational ride up the Ventou, and he tweeted about it. He said, great ride up the Ventou today with, and he named like 4 guys. And at the bottom he said, never gets any easier. And it made me laugh out loud, having done it myself, that here's the greatest cyclist maybe in the history of the sport, said, never gets any easier. Yeah, no kidding. I'm Sam Kavaris. That's the Nimnik Sports Update. We'll be live streaming, particularly about the NFL, coming up right here at news4jax.com.